Rightio, welcome to today's polishing session. I teach you fellas how to polish your shoes and get a nice, good old mirror shine your shoes. I've already done it before, but as always, I'm going to get it in just for you guys. So, basic things you'll need are polish. I use Sapphire, really nice wax polish, brilliant to use. There are also Cherry Blossom and Mr. Mint. I have not used them before, so I can't really say much for them. However, you do have a good old tin of Kiwi shoe polish lying somewhere, it certainly will work. You'll also need some really cold water. What I've done is I've melted an ice cube. That'll really work. Ice cube or really cold water, either one will do. I like to have two cotton cloths, so an on one and kind of a buffing one. They can just be any old random gold cloths. And a nice brush, preferably a horsehair brush with a nice size. Right, first thing we do, get our older cloth, and I like to just brush over the area and make sure all the dirt and dust is gotten off it. So there's nothing on it. If it's really, really bad, then you're definitely going to want to give it a bit of a wash. I'm going to be focusing on the toe cap today, so I'm not going to take off the laces. I would take off the laces if we were doing the sides. Next thing to do, get your older on cloth, and you get your middle finger and your index finger, and you're gonna find a nice clean spot, and you're gonna kind of wrap it round like that. Get your polish, nice little bit on there, and you're gonna go in circles like this onto the shoe, making sure it's nice and even. Now you can do as many coats as you want really, but I'm only going to do about, say, 4. That's 2, 3, and 4. Right, once you've done that, I like to usually leave it for about a minute. Pretty much just making sure it's all nice and dried up once it's done. Have you gotten the whole surface? You've coated essentially the whole surface in your wax polish. Next thing, get your brush, good old brush, and you're going to buff it back and forth like this. And you're just going to get that excess polish off, just like that. A bit of firm pressure. Right, once you've done that, get your buffing cloth. I like to find a nice, clean part, get your fingers in there, twist, and I can wrap it round. Pull tight, and now you got that. Perfect. Get some of your water onto that cloth. Moisten that cloth a bit. The ice cube, nice, and then you get a little bit of polish. And we're just going to go on in circles like so. Right. Now we're applying the polish. Moving that around like so, making sure you're getting it even all the way around in circles. I like to do circles, it's usually the best way. And then I like to get with my ring finger, dab it in the water, a little bit on, and then we're buffing that polish with the water essentially. Now I don't want to use too much polish, you don't want to cake it on. Usually I'd say less is more in this case. Also, you don't want to be applying too much pressure. If you push too hard, you can pull the wax and polish off. So making sure you're keeping a nice, gentle pressure over the toe. And then you're using that polish to kind of, as a lubrication. Use that water. Nice. You don't want to use too much water either. You can oversaturate it, and that's not great. Might have to wait a while. But also don't use too little polish. I'm just going like this. Nice. And you should feel the surface of the shoe start to get more and more smooth. Now, if there's a part of the shoe, or part of the toe cap or the shoe, whichever part you're doing, that feels a little bit more rough, then that particular area might need a little bit more attention with the polish. but just making sure you're keeping a nice even amount where that's going around water like that. Sometimes I like to do back and forth like this. That can be really good too. A little bit of polish on there. And you know it's working because you'll start to see these kind of circle marks. That is just what you want to see. And it's just a repeating process, essentially, just doing this over and over and over again. And you can go for as long as you want, really. You could go for 5 minutes, 10 minutes, you could go to 30 minutes. Sometimes I've gone for a whole hour on one shoe. That can be a bit much, but that's if you really, really, really want to get it that perfect. Essentially just on with the polish, spread it around, get it in there, get it in the leather. And then buffing with the water. Just like that. You can also use a little bit of isopropyl alcohol. Sometimes I do that. I usually make a mix of about, let's say 90%, like put in a bottle, maybe 90% water to about 10% alcohol. So it's heavily diluted. But that can really help to bring up a nice shine. It can get a bit of an extra shine. But I am not going to use any in this case, just in case you guys don't have any. Because all you really need to use is just some basic water. Right. Once we feel that we have done, or you feel you've done enough, so you think, I want to stop there, I think that's plenty, I think that's quite a good shine. What I like to do is take off my cloth, find another nice clean part, make it nice and tight, get some water on there, and then go in circles and also back and forth, and we're pushing a little bit higher, so a little bit more pressure this time against the polish. We can also get a little bit of polish, a very small amount of polish, and go on, just as essentially a cherry on the top finish. Make sure you're using a fair bit of water for this part. And we're kind of getting rid of those circular marks and all those streaks from us putting the polish on. And we're making it so it's nice and even. Right, once that's done, you should have a nice shine. That also helps to remove some of the scratches as well from it. The more you do it, you'll get better. Don't be disheartened if you don't get it on your first try. It can take a fair bit of practice, because there is a bit of a science behind it. But that is essentially how you do a basic mirror shine. Now, I certainly would recommend getting some Sapphire. You can get it off teds.co.nz. I think it's about $30. By all means, give these a go. I've never used them, so you're free to experiment. This is a little, I think it's a little bit more high quality than the Cherry Blossom, and then Kiwi. Obviously, they discontinued these a little while ago, but this will certainly work. Anyways, that's about it. Thank you.